Welcome to my first introductory video to the world and histories of Cultist Simulator and Book of Hours. This video is intended for someone or someones who has at least dipped a toe or two into one or both of these games, and seeks now to broaden their understanding of information in this game, where it is, and how to get it. Welcome to Mansus 101, Aspects and Actions. Lesson 1. What is an aspect anyway? An aspect, put simply, is that which describes something. What is something? Well, something ranges from the empty space that you put an item or element of the soul in to what you put in them. Essentially, anything you can click on that isn't an aspect or part of the UI is something. Now, a great many aspects are mundane, simply defining what something is for the information of the player. But some aspects are specifically associated with occult powers and others still with occult wisdoms and skills. Those associated most singly and directly with those powers are known as principles, whereas wisdoms are concerned more so with the intersection of principles, and then skills each fall under two potential wisdoms. We'll be digging into the intricacies and implications of those in later videos, which will require a firm grounding in the principles from which they emanate. In Cultist Simulator, only 10 principles are elaborated. First, Secret Histories, which describes the unknown complexities of the world and its many paths, and is now known as Rose in Book of Hours. In its Cultist Simulator appearance, Secret History lore is used in the explore verb to discover expeditions, such as Crocus Hill, on which you can send minions. It is notable as the only Cultist Simulator lore fragment type which cannot be fused with any other lore type, including Knock. It can only be fused with itself. Speaking of Knock, which opens doors and unseams barriers, thrusting us giddily out of the safety of ignorance, it is a necessary part of all summoning rituals in Cultist Simulator, and has the unique property of being able to consume or subvert any of the other lore types, save for Secret Histories, as just noted. Each other lore type can be subverted into another specific type of lore as well as Knock, and I will be presenting those in order. Forge, which transforms and destroys. Forge is perhaps the most pragmatic of the principles, associated with physical work and invention. Forge can be subverted by edge, just as a forge produces a blade. Edge, the principle of battle and of struggle. Edge is without a doubt the most violent of the principles, but what waits at the end of violence? The opposite of battle is death. Edge can be subverted by winter, for all battles must have their conclusion. Winter, the principle of silence, endings, and of those things not quite dead. It is tragically beautiful, cold, and silent, and yet winter can be subverted by the principle of heart, which continues and preserves. Heart is the most persistent and enduring principle associated with healing and extending life. Live long enough, and you'll find what tempts you, just as heart subverts into Grail. Grail, which honors the birth and the feast, is perhaps the most hedonistic and hungry principle, reveling in satisfying and over-satisfying desires. And yet, when you aren't quite sure what it is you want, when that age-old wanderlust sets in, and you set off into the woods in the dark of night, that is when Grail is subverted by Moth. Moth, the wild and perilous principle of chaos and yearning, perhaps my favorite. Mysterious, mischievous, and metamorphic, Moth is wildly free, but the lantern is a question, and the moth always answers yes. At last, Lantern, the principle of the secret place, sometimes called the House of the Sun, and of the light above it. Lantern is considered to be among the most powerful of the principles, and certainly the least merciful. Lantern reveals what we wish to see and what we don't. But still, Lantern can be subverted by Forge, and that's how we get things like the Intercalate. But I digress. In Book of Hours, more are added, some of which were hinted at in the Ghoul DLC, such as Blood, now known as Nectar. These are Scale, what is left of the old powers of the earth; Nectar, the green wealth in the world's veins and the pulse of the seasons; Moon, the nocturnal and the forgotten; and Sky, which concerns matters of balance, harmony, and necessity. These aspects are somewhat more mysterious than those prior, and I'll be saving detailed interrogation of their properties for another time. Lesson 2. So, what's an action? An action is something you do, represented by verb cards or blocks in Cultist Simulator. Talk, study, explore, dream, work, plus specific verbs for individual events or decisions, such as this one where I need to send a spy to spy on this long and see what they're doing. A long is an immortal, and this one is my enemy. In Book of Hours, the librarian has access to the talk and consider actions, as well as the ability to use workstations, such as the necropsy table, or the barber's chair, or a good old-fashioned desk, inherited from a previous librarian. You can visit townspeople by clicking on their houses, although they won't want to talk to you at night. You can explore locales, such as Crowcross Sands, with a little effort and a bit of appropriate knowledge, but not in the dark. This is a bad way to find things and a good way to drown. I should come back tomorrow. Don't worry, night's very short in this game. And unlock rooms, as well as some specific decision verbs which spawn, such as incidents and auctions, which will show up over on the right side of the screen and be like, hey, what's going on? And then if it's an auction, you put in a spin tree of the appropriate amount. And if it's an incident, it'll take care of itself, maybe? It'll look for a visitor that's related to it, and then you can consult with them about it and give them a book related to their interests. Now, you can use any desk as a writing desk, but you have to use the writing case to do invitations. And you can only do invitations, I believe, if you have the House of Light DLC. So I need to find a table that I can write to Zachary on, because Zachary wants to hear about specific things. Who had the winter table? Ah, Ava. Thank you, Ava. So a little bit of whist for 3 winter. Remember that I didn't pick up my writing case, so I have to go get it from my reading room. And I do also need ink. Let's see. Not orpiment, ascertain, perhaps? Request Zachary's presence. There we go. So then bada bing, bada boom. And that's an action. It'll resolve in about 5 more seconds, which can be induced by increasing the game speed. And there we go. Now I can call him over and get that sorted. But I'll save that for stream, so... That's all for this video. If you have any questions about what I covered or suggestions as to what I explain next, feel free to ask in the comments. And please do subscribe and support however you can. If you don't want to miss any videos, you can turn on all notifications. And if you want to support me, you can join over on Patreon. See you next time.